All right, let's take a look at this. X to the fourth minus 19x squared plus 48 equals 0. All right, so this looks, if you're having issues with this question, it's because of the 4 and the 2. So notice that if I thought of this question as x squared minus 19x plus 48 equals 0, it wouldn't be as difficult to do. I mean, it's still going to have some issues, but it wouldn't be nearly as bad. We would kind of know what to do here. We would know that we would try to factor this, right, as such. Now, I know that x times x is x squared. The question then becomes, when I look back here at 48, I got to ask myself, what times what is 48, and when I add and subtract, I get 19. Okay, my always advice is just take numbers that you know that are close. So what times what's 48? Well, I know 6 times 8 is 48. Can I add 6 and 8 and get 48? Well, 6 plus 8 is 14, so it doesn't work. Okay, that's okay. We just pick the next set of numbers. So I know that this is divisible by 4. Again, I'm not putting much thought into it. I'm just going through and I'm just trying it. And that's going to give me 4 and 12 is the most I can get out of that is 16. So that's still not going to work, all right? That's okay. I'm going to try, let's try 2. Okay, maybe this works. I'm just trying numbers. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 6. That doesn't work. So I'm getting a little worried here. I mean, I know I could try 1, 1 in 48, but that's clearly not going to work. So this doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. All right. If I'm still stuck, now I'm getting a little stuck with these numbers. So there's a cool little trick here that 4 plus 8 is 12. So if you add the digits, 4 plus 8 is 12. If that number is divisible by 3, then this entire number is divisible by 3. So 12 is divisible by 3. So I know that this is divisible by 3. I don't know what it is. Actually, I do know what it is. It's 16. But we'll go ahead and divide. And we get, oh, look at that, 16. Okay? So I know that this is 16. Now I'm going to erase this because I need more space. All right, so let's see here. 3 plus 16 is 19. Okay? So ding, 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 I got my value that I need. Okay? So again, what did I do here? I just went through and I started multiplying values until I found the one that works. Such that the sum, either that when you add or subtract, you get this number here. Notice I didn't pay attention to the sign. I don't worry about that till the end. So I'm going to put 16 here and 3 here. Now if I want a negative 19, but I want a positive 48, because when I multiply, it has to give me a positive, so the signs have to be the same. So I'm going to use negative negative, because when I add negative 16 plus a negative 3, I get a negative 19. All right? Again, this just breaks down to x minus 16 equals 0, or x minus 3 equals 0. So x equals 16, or x equals 3. And there we have it. Now, we're not done with this problem yet, right? I mean, we have to remember that during this process, I was just showing you what we could do if I gave you x squared minus 19x plus 48 instead of x to the fourth plus 19x squared plus 48. So what do we do now? Well, this result and the answer to this is basically the same. The only difference is that this value here is squared and this value here is squared. So if I just write x squared equals 16 and x squared equals 3 and solve those, I'm going to get my answer. So this becomes plus or minus 4. This is not as pretty, but it's still just plus or minus square root 3. So the question becomes, how come? Why does that work? Okay, and the reason why that works is that what I really essentially did here is if I wrote this as x squared and x squared, if I distribute this back to the top here, we would actually, it ended up matching up. So notice x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. X squared times negative 3 plus negative 16 times x squared is negative 19x squared. And negative 16 times negative 3, as we showed here, is 48. So all you have to do if this is to the fourth power, this is the second power, solve it like you normally would solve it, right? Solve it like normal, and then at the very end, just put a little 2 on top, and you get your answer, okay? Now, textbooks talk about this in a little bit, in a more detailed fashion, I guess is the way I should say it. And what they do is they do some sort of substitution. So let's do like what we call a u substitution. So basically, if I say let u equal x squared, I can do this whole process, only instead of rewriting as x, it'd be rewritten as u. Okay? So what would happen here is, I want you to see that this value here is really x squared minus 19x squared plus 48. So when I substitute, and I'm running out of space here, but if I substitute in here these x squares as u, I get, let's try to fit it in here, I get u squared, notice because x squared goes away, this is now just squared here, so u squared minus 19u plus 48 equals 0. Okay? Which is what I said here, only instead of calling it u, I called it x. So it's the same idea. I just find it like, personally, and this is just me, you can always just rewrite it as such, then let u equal x squared and substitute it down here. But I personally just rewrite the 4 as a 2 and the 2 as a 1 here, and we're talking about the exponents, and just go through and solve the problem. And then just remember at the end, put a 2. I find that to be easier. If you prefer to write it out following these steps, you can. Just remember at the end, here you would get a u value, then you'd have to replace u with x squared. So you would solve this, so we would have math, and your math would look just like this, except instead of x, you have u. And then it's right here, we would just have, where instead of having, you would not have a 2 here, you would not have a 2 here, these would be u's. And so you would just have to replace it back with x squared and solve. Okay? Hopefully that's clear. Sometimes when I explain things, I guess it seems like it goes from simple to complex. But if that's not making sense, I'll make another video. Just let me know. And I will see you in the next video.